Man, do you know how crazy it is? That sometimes if we can let down our jealousy and let down our pride and envy about other people winning, that we'll win with them. Do you not know that most people don't make it in life, are never successful, or never achieve their greatest potential simply because they're sitting there and angry that other people made it before them? Hello, hello. I am so glad that you have joined me again on Fred Talk. It's been a wonderful journey as we have explored different subjects, and we're going to continue to join ourselves and others on this journey that we are allowed to be a part of, called Fred Talk. The other day, I was actually thinking about Fred Talk and thinking about how this was actually a dream that I had 3 or 4 years ago, and I started working on just the idea, the content, and even the context of what I would speak on. And I initially started by dealing with "You Got This." The whole premise of what we're doing in our attempt to motivate people and to bring people into alignment with their purpose, their God-given right, is being able to encourage people that no matter the odds that are stacked against you, you have this. And so again, I'm Fred Folston. My mama named Sarah. My daddy named Calvin. I am a natural person. I like to think I'm down to earth, but some people might think different. It's really okay, because a lot of people don't know how to differentiate between confidence and being egotistical. I am not egotistical. I've been broke out of that for years. But there are some levels I'm very confident in, not because I am so great, but I believe that the power of God allows us to do things and that we are, that seem normal at an abnormal rate, which make us sometimes superheroes to some people. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with a person calling you their superhero. That means there's something in you that you have tapped into the supernatural. You used your natural, and you've tapped into God's super, and you've used a supernatural strength, as the church world would call you, an oil or a grace on you to do things that you necessarily could not do on your own. And so I'm grateful for that. I want to get into something on this talk here that really kind of like resonated with me a couple of weeks ago. I want to introduce you parenthetically to a young girl. Her name is Alice. She is 5 years old, and her family were at a baseball game, a little league baseball game. We're getting into the spring. It's baseball season, T-ball. People are starting to get outside and cut grass and do all of their yard work. Very interesting, though. Alice, who is 5 years old, she already can start reading and she's writing. She's very articulate. She's very smart. And here's the interesting thing. She has a lot of wit about herself. She has a lot of grit. She has a lot of wisdom. She's like an old person trapped in a young body. You ever met children like that? That they have like this old spirit. Well, let me tell you about Alice. Alice was at the game with her auntie and her mama, grandma. And when it got to the end of the game, she went from being a spectator to being one of the ones who was celebrated. Now, let me help you. She was at the game, right? She was at the game. The game was going on. The family is getting ready to get up and go home, but they could not leave because Alice, somewhere between the last minute of the game and the post-game ceremony, found her way to the field and was talking and celebrating with her cousins and other friends that she knew on the field. And when the ceremony started, she went from being a spectator in the stands to being one of the ones who was on the field receiving a participation award and being a part of the team picture. It made me laugh, right? Because Alice probably never threw a ball, in a game. She never caught a ball. She wasn't a cheerleader. She was literally coming to support others. She run downs and she celebrates those who she know. She jumps out of the bleachers, runs onto the baseball field, and she's high-fiving and jumping and chest bumping her cousins and other friends that she know. And she actually got an award. Man, do you know how crazy it is? That sometimes if we can let down our jealousy and let down our pride and envy about other people winning, that we'll win with them. Do you not know that most people don't make it in life, are never successful, or never achieve their greatest potential simply because they're sitting there and angry that other people made it before them? Alice literally could have sat in the stands, waved at them, and been like, whenever you're ready, Mom, Auntie, Grandma, I'm ready. But she didn't do that. She was so excited for her homeboys who were on the field getting ready to take a team picture that she ran down to the field. She was celebrating them. They gave her an award because they assumed that she was just a field hand or a manager or a water girl. They didn't know. She was just a spectator. She ran down to the field and she got an award for, along with everybody else who'd been there the whole season. She got an award. I want to spend here just a couple of seconds as you're watching me and help you understand that sometimes your blessing is hiding in how you celebrate others. Your blessing is hiding in how you celebrate others. If you're not willing to celebrate others in life, you're never going to have your greatest reward or an award. You're not going to get it. I used to talk about Pop Warner Sports, and I still got some issues with it just a little bit because life is not really like Pop Warner, because in life, you don't get a participation award for showing up. You actually have to do work efficiently, and you have to do work at a certain level. And when you are called to the bench and when you are called to give quota, they don't just give you a raise because they like you. But I think that this is different than a Pop Warner award. This award that she received said, you got rewarded because we don't know who you are, but we saw you celebrating like you've been here the whole time. I mean, really, really. Have you caught what I'm throwing down? I want to entitle this podcast, Clap Like You Won Too. Yeah, clap like you won too. There is such a problem in our culture, in our world. I had this agent. Everybody know I do insurance. I had this agent who sat me down at a McDonald's one day when we had a meeting. And he said to me, and I will never forget it. He said to me, I want everything Fred Folston has. He says, I want the agents, the money, the car, the family. I want everything you have. And I'm not going to stop until I have mastered your life. And shortly after that, we kind of separated. We parted ways. And I'll never forget the feeling I had knowing the person I was pouring into, that I was really building credibility for on both ends, really could not stand the fact that I was winning, when the whole time I was winning for them. Many people are snared, are literally debunked in life because they're so busy being envious and coveting what everybody else have and not spending enough time developing their gifts, crafting their potential, becoming kinetic in their abilities. And we lose, they lose, we all lose when everybody has that mentality. I want to give you some things to help you celebrate others. First thing I want to tell you is that you got to be able to be genuine and specific. I wrote some notes about this because you have to focus on the person and the efforts and not just the outcome. You have to kind of, the Bible talks about marking the perfect man, meaning mark the person who's mature. You have to study their habits. One of my mentors, and I talk about him, his name is Jordan Smith. And I travel all over the world with him. And he's very wealthy, and he does not brag about his wealth. But one thing I notice about him, he gives back just as much as he's earned. He is such a philanthropist at heart, and God keeps blessing him because when people win, he celebrates their win. He is over there literally clapping, celebrating, yelling, shouting. He's boosting them, amping them. And I'm like, this man is phenomenal, not because of his ability to give, but because of his availability to give to others. Clapping like you want to, meaning that you literally have to be specific and be intentional about clapping for people. One of the things I have been working on, to be very transparent, there's very few people that I'm enemies with. I don't have enemies. I get along with everybody. At least I try, right? There are people who don't like me, but I cannot say I don't like them. There are people I don't like their ways, but I don't dislike them as a person. There's a pastor in particular that me and him have never really saw eye to eye, and things have happened in the past. And the other day, I was looking at them, and my heart began to be joyful and sorrowful at the same moment. It became sorrowful because I may have missed opportunities to really develop a great relationship. There may have been things that he could have taught me, and there could have been things I could have taught him. But because I felt like there was too much competition in a potential relationship, neither one of us never reached out to each other to really form a relationship. But I became joyful because he's winning in his courtyard. While I am winning in some areas, he's winning too. I've become so intentional about liking his post. I've become very intentional about whenever I see him sowing a small seed, whether it could be in his family, into his life. I've been very intentional about it, not to pay for what I feel like I've done wrong, but to show myself and others who may be looking that it's okay to relent from that hard stance of competition. Competition will destroy competency. Competition will destroy potential relationships. Competition will keep you from being rewarded even when you are not a part of the game. And getting into the game may be inevitable, but getting into the game for some people may be downright impossible. The closest you might get to the game is being in the celebration with them. A couple of years ago, the University of South Carolina women's basketball team won the national championship. And I would never forget that the time before the last, we had church, and they was going to do the parade on a Sunday. And I remember saying to the church, hey, y'all, we're going to get out of church early because we really want to go down and support our women. And one of the members came to me and they was like, you mean to tell me you're going to counsel worshiping God and encourage people to go to a parade and celebrate this carnal sport and to celebrate these girls who you don't know, probably would never meet, and you're gonna go and you're gonna literally counsel or shortcut your service to go and celebrate them. And I never forget what I said to them. I said, you know what? If you're really that concerned about being at worship, you would be here every time the doors open, number one. Number two is these celebrations don't happen every year. Watch what I just said to you, right? We take life for granted, and we keep thinking we will have another opportunity to celebrate. And what we really don't know is that time is not promised to nobody. You can see them today and they'll be gone tomorrow. So what if celebrating them today will be the last celebration you can have for them? Number 3, I said to them, if you would learn to counsel your own propaganda and your own personal agendas and celebrate everybody else who just had a big achievement, when your day comes, somebody's going to cancel what they're doing to come and celebrate you. Clapping like you won too is so powerful because it literally says, you know what? I may not have given the time or the efforts or the sweat or the blood, the tears as you gave, but I'm here to celebrate you in this victory. And somehow, some way, people are always watching to see who you celebrate. Many of you who are watching me, you have not celebrated anybody. It's all about what you're doing, and you're always keeping a clock or a calculator or a tracker on who's blessed you, so that when it's time for them to be blessed, you're only going to bless them that blessed you. The Bible teaches us against that, honestly. It says, bless those that say all manner of evil against you, that people who misuse you and abuse you. That's hard teaching, right? Because how can I celebrate somebody who's my enemy? How can I celebrate somebody who has threw it up in my face that they won and I didn't? There's a passage, and I don't mean to preach to you, but there's a passage about Peninnah and Hannah and Samuel's mom. And it talks about how Peninnah, or Peninnah for some, kept throwing up in her face, hi, I'm pregnant, you're not, I'm pregnant. But the day came that Hannah was so urgent about getting her request to be pregnant that she gets pregnant. But she don't have just one baby. She has a baby and another baby and another baby. She had fertility as her gift. And what if she remembered that and went back to Peninnah and said, remember all those times you played against me? And started throwing up in her face that, hey, I got pregnant now, but my baby is more important than your baby. I don't think she did that. You have to clap like you won too. Even when people don't give you the accolades, you're there to celebrate others. Alice is literally speaking to us today, for anybody who's watching this for years to come, that Alice literally shows us that celebrating people reveals your heart. And you got to have a heart to celebrate people. Alice literally also tells us that jealousy will always block joy. I'm really going to come back and talk about that. There's going to be a part 2. I've got to give you a part 2 because jealousy will always block joy. When you're jealous of somebody, you would never see it realized in your life. You will never achieve that thing in your life that you have been wanting or desiring because you have been jealous of a person's process and a person's success. But your success is rooted in how you celebrate other people's success. Alice teaches you, and I love Alice for this, jealousy will always block joy. But if you can be happy for others, something about life, it'll always return the favor to let you be happy and others will be able to celebrate you. The other thing that I think Alice teaches us in this talk is literally that the tides turn when your attitude is positive. When you learn to be positive about people, the tides will always work in your favor. The wave will always lean to you. The favor will always lean to you when you are positive, get this, optimistic about other people's outcome. If you're always celebrating somebody else's demise or negative news, you are sowing seeds of negativity on your future. I would be very careful not to rejoice when people are going through. I would be very careful not to spend my short life, 80, 70, 60 years on earth, celebrating people demise and their negative and hard and unfortunate moments because I want revenge. Revenge is a reciprocal seed. And after you get revenge, somebody's going to seek revenge back on you. This is why gang activity is so bad, because one gang kills one member of the other gang, and out of revenge, this gang goes back and kills somebody in this set, and then out of revenge, this gang goes and drive by this gang's house and shoot them up, and then out of revenge, I'm going to meet them and shoot them up. It becomes a recycling of revenge that actually tears families up. It tears people up. It tears mindsets up. It tears churches up. It tears jobs up. That when you seek vengeance, you are literally not celebrating, but you are actually murdering other people's life. And the Bible talks about if you take an eye, your eye should be taken too. If you steal, then your hand should be cut off. Thank God that God didn't cut our hands off every time we stole, or that every time we plucked a person's eye out, that we still got a chance to keep both of our eyes. It is unfortunate that a lot of people will never realize the beauty in celebrating others because they never take the time to celebrate others. So they'll never be celebrated themselves. I want to appreciate Alice as a young 5-year-old girl who literally teaches this 45-year-old man the value of celebrating others, because there may be unknown awards waiting on me simply because I'm there present in the proximity of winners. In a couple of episodes, I'm going to talk about the anatomy of a winner. And I'm going to literally break down what a winner thinks like and how a winner behaves himself. It's going to be amazing. This has been your Fred Talk. I want you to clap like you won too, because ultimately clapping for others is a clap for yourself.